The narrative begins. Little Skul, fallen child, reborn, undead as a skeletal warrior on a mission of revenge and justice, leaves the dark castle, alone and afraid, but with confidence brewing deep within as he makes his journey towards Kalane. He must venture forward through the forest. The Ents have risen. Corrupted by dark quartz, they're doing battle against him. Skul is forced to engage in combat. He must relieve them of their torment. He has a question to ask. He must know why the Ents are against him. What has happened to the forest? Why are the inhabitants so thorny and annoying? God damn it. To get his answers, he must seek out Yggdrasil, the oldest of all of the trees. During his journeys, he finds a pile of bones. A werewolf's preserved head is found deep inside. Taking the skull, he replaces his own and transforms into a mighty beast of moonish lunar origin. The werewolf skull is here. Traversing forward, he finds 2 Kalane recruits, slays them like the manslayer that he is, throws them into the thorn pit, and discovers a Minotaurus head preserved and entrapped in a chamber of evil, bad shit. Ow! The werewolf attempts to use its agility and agile dashing to navigate through the thorn bush, becomes impaled several times, and gets incredibly injured. Making his return with the sacred orb, he unleashes the Minotaur head. Changing back into his original form, he takes up the Minotaur's arms. God damn, is he a beast of burden. Look at this. He progresses forward in Minotaur form, finding a basic Kalane staff. A clue, a hint maybe, leading towards his ultimate destination. He takes the staff, hoping that it may have arcane secrets from within. Progressing, he continues to slay trees left and right, and thinks to himself, God, I hope Yggdrasil isn't mad that I'm killing all of his trees. I mean, I know that we're all basically corrupt by quartz here, but I'm not killing Yggdrasil. I'm rescuing him, but these trees get no mercy. One by one, the trees fall to the Minotaur's great might. A head rush, a wolf slash, they're all dying. The werewolf picks up a health orb, regenerating some of his HP. He's barely scratched. It is but a flesh wound. The werewolf claims a pile of sacred gold. Must be treasures left behind by the trees, preserved in the deepest parts of the woods. A doorway yonder. He makes his way into the shop, an ethereal place popping out of absolutely nowhere that makes no real sense unless it's a pocket dimension. Probably a pocket dimension owned by this cat specifically. This man is a chef. The frost skull is found within. The frost skull is found within. Choosing to take a rather cool and badass magic skull to better synergize with the basic staff, the werewolf trades its place with the headless, an NPC who has lost his own head somewhere down the line. He now seeks endlessly for a head to call his own, offering for trade the frost skull, an ancient grand deity preserved forever, encapsulated in pre-human ice. The trade is complete. Frost Skull is here. This absolute mad lad of badassery is set to chill all of his opponents. Leaving the pocket dimension of the shop, he makes his way forward. Gasp! An adventurer blocks his passage. Getting wind of his assault through the forest, a ninja pops up out of absolutely nowhere, as ninjas do, attempting to destroy the skull on his mission for vengeance. They engage in combat. The ninja has different magics of his own, summoning multiples of himself. Easily defeated, the ninja gasps for air as his cloney assault is taken care of damn near instantly because he's weak and has low HP. But Minotaur has done it and slain the absolute dumbass. He lays dead on the ground, giving a single 10 HP orb. Poor fool, the Minotaur thinks, as he progresses to his rewards, where he is met with the genie, the wisp, and the Kalane armor. I have no idea what to do. Please make an emote to the narrator in Hades. No. No. Why did the headless use the head that was laying in front of them? He didn't want it. He found it, didn't want it, he's trading it. He can't see it because he has no head. Facts. Absolute facts. Absolute facts. Anyway. The Minotaur, having been presented this decision, decides it would be far wiser to take the Wisp, an ancient quintessence, magic of the forest, condensed and placed into a small sphere, something that he can take with him. Perhaps Yggdrasil would have answers relating to its power buried deep within. I have answers and must seek them. We progress. Arachne meets us halfway through. I have absolutely no bone fragments. The spider deity chooses to ignore me because I have no way of paying her, and she is a greedy and fickle creature. I will make my way forward, obtain more bone fragments, and then when I return to Arachne, she will offer me her services of upgrading my power. The Skull, changing into its frost form, using super cool icy freezies, tapping into the power of the Wisp, begins to freeze opponents before then rapidly changing back into the Minotaur in a mad flurry of uppercuts and head rams. Getting poked from beneath by thorny ents. They try to stop him, but they are unable to. Freeze! Damn it, said the Frost Skull as he stopped the giant tree from slamming the ground and causing grievous injury. Small ninjas, regular recruits, and frost mages all stand in the Minotaur's way, falling one by one to his might. Making his way into another pocket dimension shop, the Minotaur is met with offers of trade. Money in exchange for power. The weird serpentine NPC over here tells him without talking to him because no one ever talks to this guy. Anyway, Inner Flame is on offer, an item that increases the magical properties of any skull that swaps in. Somewhere Arnold Schwarzenegger is really Oh god. Anyway. Recovering from his laughing fit at how ludicrous his decision would be, the Minotaur, thinking of his friend the Frost Skull, his alternative form, takes the Inner Flame, thinking futuristically that if this run turns into a magic one, then Inner Flame would be very beneficial. The Minotaur will also take the scroll, Prayer of Grace, evil, contaminated, cursed by higher deities of Carleon. This scroll contains information that the Minotaur is unable to read, a language written in arcane speak. Perhaps, once we reach the castle, it will be able to be transcribed into a way that the Minotaur can understand, to obtain information most valuable, to give answers as to why and how this poor child has been taken from life. His revenge will be complete. Continuing his journey, the onslaught against Carleon forces, taking up home in the forest. Why are they here? Why are they attacking the woods so? Explosive barrels, archers, mages, and foot soldiers all will fall to the great might of the Minotaur and Frost duo. Swap to the Frost Skull, he says aloud, as he proceeds to absolutely destroy people, tapping into the Wisp's power, resetting cooldowns, slaying people. Yas, Queen! The battle cry is screamed as he continues. He makes... The Minotaur makes his way to the end. A large, legendary chest is met. Prying the giant trove open, an infinite bone cage, cosmic powers, far above the comprehension of the Minotaur lay within. Taking up the bones, that meld with the very flesh. No, there's no flesh. The bones that meld, calcified into the other rib cage of the Minotaur. Swapped his rib cage, basically. The Minotaur tearing his own rib cage forth, replacing them with the infinite bone cage, providing him a chance to reset his cooldowns upon use. Not that he understood what that meant, because he is just a Minotaur, and the most he understands is big club, go swing, swing. Amazing. Progressing forward into the next area. A large, oh my god, scary as hell, huge tree. Yggdrasil, the Lord of the Forest, has approached. Covered in dark quartz, corrupting his mind, the Frost Skull is aware, I must save this poor creature from itself. Yggdrasil is a being of peace, and here we see it acting like a real ass, so we're going to save it from itself. Defeating the beast, he only becomes more enraged. The quartz sinks its power in deeper into the mind of the ancient. This poor thing has lost all control and is no longer under any influence other than that of the quartz. The Frost Skull swaps. I must freeze the tree, a natural adversary of nature. The quartz is destroyed. The tree is free! Hashtag free the tree in the chat. Yggdrasil is down, but not dead. Unconscious, we dig deep into his trove. The tree, the great Lord of the Forest, has provided us... Wait, blink twice for being Hellcat. You can't see me blink. Anyway, the large tree has been felled, weakened, and unable to assist the skull in his onslaught against the castle. He provides a reward, extra HP to repay the debt of freeing him, which he doesn't need because you got no hit, bro. GG, get on my level. The other reward, the Abyssal Virus. The Abyssal Virus, corruption incarnate within a jar. Another clue to the evil goings-on that are happening inside of the Carleon Keep. This is evidence that has been provided by the Lord of Trees himself of a sample of the very corruption that's been used to take over his forest. The tree charges you with the mission, please rescue my people, find out what is going on inside. The skull agrees and makes his way forward into the keep. Bursting forth through the window like a badass, he goes, yeah, as he flies through and proceeds into the first room, ignoring everything else inside the first area because he can't interact with any of it. Gasp aloud he does as he discovers that he's in a large, very windy, topside area that goes higher and higher up. Such verticality is a mystery to him. I've never seen such a high rise before, unless you include the Demon Keep, which for some reason is also very high. Seeing as how the skull is very adept at being mobile, he quickly ascends up this large winding way through traps of fire and spike, destroying orb weavers wielding ancient, holy magics used to try and destroy him, to destroy the very bones that he's made of. He annihilates them, steals their treasures, and progresses. And progresses through to find really annoying people shooting him with arrows. Ow, I shouldn't have been hit there. Wait. Yeah. Dude. Don't Ghosty, dude. Don't dude. This is amazing. Don't worry. I'm a god. I got this. Maids, evil women, femme fatales, servitors of the castle itself, trained in combat, come forth to assault the skull. Apparently, they're more deadly than Carleon's own soldiers. What a weak force indeed to rely on the staff that maintain the castle to defend it, because its very soldiers happen to suck complete ass and just not good at all. The Minotaur rushes forth with a massive uppercut, knocking that dude into next season. We'll see him land next winter, destroying more bone fragments, obtaining more potential currency to pay Arachne. He moves forward into another pocket dimension shop where he has no currency, no possible way of obtaining more power, so he quickly moves his way through and leaves into the next room, filled with large shield bearers, large shouldered tackling axemans that cause nasty shockwaves on the ground. Wow, what awful people they are. Slaying them all, getting rid of spearmen, so many mages. The onslaught has begun. They are so desperate to get rid of the skull. It cannot be stopped, an unstoppable force barreling its way through the Carlean keep. Foot soldiers, men with families throwing their lives away willingly for their false prophets. Swap into the Frost Skull, the virus, the very contamination that they've been using to corrupt the forest. Put against them. Fall to your own foul magics, evil Carlean bastards. More skulls being destroyed. He makes his way halfway through. More adventurers, a lady with a bow and a paladin of righteous order have met with him to try and stop him from his assault on the keep. He battles valiantly, ignoring the large one with the shield, favoring the small, frail one that holds the bow. A true coward rushes away to try and make distance. He will not allow it. He continues to head rush straight into her face, hoping to kill her. She finally falls, succumbs to the power of the great Minotaur. Frost Skull is freezing the big dude because he sucks and can't do anything about being frozen. Haha, what a fool. Minotaur swaps back, continues to ram his face straight into the paladin. Leroy! He screams in vain as he dies and dies forever. The health orb is left there, teasing the paladin, unable to consume it. He will rot and decay on the floor for all time. The Minotaur progresses. The rewards are laid out thusly. Garbage, he exclaims loudly at the rewards therein, choosing to destroy the petty thief for but a fraction of bone. Still, not enough for trade with fair Lady Arachne, the greedy arachnoid thing that she is. Anyway, he chooses to progress, making his way through Carlean Keep further and further forward, deeper and deeper in, seeking answers. He has so much evidence against them. Practically, Court of Law wouldn't be able to save Carlean at this point. They've done lots of bad, evil stuff, and Skull's going to make them pay. But most importantly, the kidnapping of his Demon King and the slaying of his own self. Orb Weavers. Foul, evil, false, holy magic. Slay them. He does, using the power of the virus, their own force thrown against them. My god, he's just so Chaticus Maximus right now. He can't be stopped. He's taking some damage, but he's really just too cool. Look at him. That was an ice pun. Frost Skull. Aha. He chooses to continue to slay. Puns galore as the Minotaur. Slime! Damn, he exclaims aloud as he discovers the slime NPC holed up in a cage. Oh no, they've captured more of our demon friends, holding them prisoner in this keep. I shall rescue them. I shall free them from their imprisonment and pray that they will do me a kind favor. Checking the inventory, he realizes, oh dear sweet god, where I gotta get either Abyssal Virus or Infinite Bone. Slime King, King of the Slimes, Lord of all Slimes. Do me a favor, I am rescuing you. Please leave. The slime says, allow me to do you a favor. I will transform myself into the very essence of the Abyssal Virus that you carry, so that you may now have double virus and commit even bigger ungy-bungy destroying everything damage. Josh Kush 0 has followed Beelz on twitch.tv/Beelz55, as you viewer should do as well. Thank you for that. Frost Skull finds Petty Thief, a duplicate of a previous skull that he's already destroyed. Please, don't take it. Destroy it, the Frost Skull does. Finally, he has enough currency to maybe purchase an upgrade from fair Lady Arachne. Entelza Velen with the follow. Thank you, Velen. And Entelza, I can't say your name properly. Said thank you for following. Yes. In the Pocket Dimension shop. Wait, he's receiving a message. Do I get permission to share a video that the challenge is inspired on? It's an Isaac video made by Hearts. Sure, go for it. I don't care. Do it, dude. In the Pocket Shop Dimension. Wait, in the Pocket Skull Dimension, the Frost Skull browses the potential items on offer. The shopkeep is a manipulative one, choosing to pay for an option to see other items for sale. He discovers the Mage's Necklace, a very powerful, ancient gemstone carved into pure gold, possessing great, fiery, pyrokinetic magics. Perverse in nature it is to mix frost and fire, but a deadly combination nevertheless. The power of big, stupid, double virus damage. Ever compelling. Wow. It's just, it really do be killing though. Robbing the place blind. It continues to take all of their gold. Currency much required for the shopkeep. The greedy piece of work that he is. So that I can obtain more power. I need more power, he exclaims aloud. As he... don't do that. As he makes his way through. Killing more and more of the ancient forces that have buried themselves deep within Carlane Castle. His answers must be given to the questions that he has to ask. The mummy's skull is destroyed as he makes his way down a long and imposing hallway. Stomp, stomp goes the Minotaur. Huff, huff goes his breathing. A large doorway lay open, inviting him into utter despair. Ba-boom go the doors, swung open. A large-framed, bald-headed, very egg-looking man steps forward with two Maidens of the Blade that step forward to oppose the Minotaur. Either side, 2 against 1, the combat is not fair. The Carlane forces proving themselves coward time and time again. A fair fight, they've never heard of such a thing. The Minotaur taking up arms, head ramming back and forth. One sister, winded and needing a rest, takes to the back as the second sister chooses to engage in one-on-one combat. This will surely not last. The Carlane forces are cowardish. The Frost Skull going untouched so far. Absolute mad lad that he is. Completely decimating all of these ladies. They have no chance. The Frost Skull delivers the final blow. The final blow to one of the sisters. She lay dead on the ground. The second sister, enraged at the loss of her sibling, corrupted by the powers of dark quartz, ascends into a perverse form of her previous self. She is now no longer in control of herself, as the Lord of the Forest Yggdrasil before her. Many frosts were just used. Big magical ungi damage. This power is not natural. Ah, said the Minotaur as he evaded damage thanks to Mirage. We must put them out of their misery. They know not what they tamper with. Yah, he says as he chooses to dodge by jumping over, because Power Skulls have limited mobility. She weakens, says the Frost Skull. We must deliver the final blow. Do it now! Dead. The sister consumed by the dark power. Incinerated, not a trace but a helmet left. The bald Eggman, aghast in disbelief that a single bony boy was able to destroy 2 of his greatest warriors. He flees, the coward, running, practically crying and screaming to his mother to report the news of his failings. The reward laid barren because there's nothing good inside. Proof of fellowship is kind of meh. But at least a large health orb was offered so that I can get my life back, said the Frost Skull. I may as well take the proof of fellowship. A toy bunny, a souvenir, a token left behind by one of the sisters. Surely this is a sign of innocence and purity that once lay within... Yo, that other sister is dead underneath this elevator that came out of the ground. That's kind of dark. Anyway, this poor rabbit will stay with me in the meantime as a token of the innocence the humans once possessed before being corrupted by the power of the quartz. Into the elevator from nowhere. And then down he goes. Damn, that really just disappeared, didn't it? Oh, he's back. Anyway. Down he goes through the mystical elevator. the mystical elevator that comes from below takes it down into the basement. It's so stupid. Look how long this elevator is. Why is it so long? Have you ever noticed how long this thing is? It's such a long elevator. Anyway. The Frost Skull leaving the long Vader. That's long elevator for those not people who are denizens of Carleon, makes his way into the corrupted basement. A poor skeletal fool, pleading don't die, meets him at the front. He engages in small talk before, gasp! The skeletal friend explodes from within. These people are booby-trapped. The Frost Skull bounces his head around, making sure there's no signs of life. No, this poor fool is well and truly gone. Progressing further forward, Arachne, the arachnoid demon of power, meets him in the basement. How did you get here before me? Frost thinks to himself, don't worry, don't ask questions you don't want answers to. Spiders have mystical ways. Finally, he has obtained enough bones, enough fragments of his fallen companions. We will merge their fallen memories into your own, empowering you, making you stronger, so that you may take out the awful Carleon dicks that are stopping you from getting revenge. The powering is complete. He has obtained unique status, the Ancient Frost Skull. He now has the ability to hibernate, which canonically probably doesn't make a lot of sense that he would choose to go into hibernation instead of just fighting. Yo, I'm gonna win via a war of attrition. Thanks, the Frost Skull. I'll hibernate, and in thousands of years they'll be dead, and I'll be fine. Yo, Runt following twitch.tv/Beelz55. Thank you for the follows, exclaims an unseen voice from above. Into the further deeper parts of the basement goes the Frost Skull. Enriched with a new source of power, he goes forward to slay and decimate these awful people. Experiments! Vile experiments from casters of black magic. A sacrifice tributed to ancient, evil, totally not cool powers. A dark monster of the quartz. Ogres enslaved and corrupted by the power of quartz as well. This is perverse, disgusting. I must save them. A jar pops open. An experimental monster. What were you once in a previous life? They will pay dearly. The ants from the forest are here as well, further corrupted even more than back in the forest. They are just the most awful of dudes here. Another friend. A special magical picture. No, I kid you not. This is a living photograph, imprisoned in a cage. Unable to move on his own, he relies on what looks like a small elvish child to carry him around. What a selfish and awful person. Despite having freed the picture frame, he requests payment from me in return for an item of value. What an awful person he is. Taking up the offer, the Frost Skull pays him 500 gold coins and is given a standard issue Carleon bow that he could have obtained from any one of the numerous archers that he's slain along the way. Complete rip-off, the Frost Skull thinks, as he kills the picture with a frost attack and will later tell the Demon King that he was already dead when he found him. It's what he deserves. Stealing more of the ancient treasures held within, the Frost Skull makes his way forward, searching for answers to his desires, his burning questions. Why, how, when, and which? None of these really need answering, but we're going to pretend that they do anyway. All of these ancient, corrupted alchemists performing their wicked magics, throwing potions, vile potions filled with probably the tainted corruption of the quartz, summoning vile quartz beasts from dimensions unspoken of. They attack. It's coming right for us! Nimbly moving out of the way, the Frost Skull takes action, slaying the giant corrupted quartz beast. Yay! Moving further upwards, a winding passageway. We're meant to be in a basement, but we're somehow moving back up, he thinks. This place is a conundrum in and of itself. I can't make heads or tails. Slowly losing track of where he is in the world, the Frost Skull continues to progress. Another pile of bones. How many motorcycle riders have fallen to the powers of the Carlean corruption? And what's a motorcycle? The Frost Skull thinks aloud. Moving into another pocket dimension, he finds the shop. The kitty waiting ever patiently for another patron to come through the front door. Flame Flask Alchemist lay in the middle of the shop. No, says the Frost Skull, I won't. I'm going to stay with the power of the ancient frost deity. Instead, I have 2 Carlean items, and we have a Carlean insignia being offered by the shopkeep. More evidence, more keepsakes of the Carlean themselves. I must take this, says the Frost Skull. I will trade the bunny. I will trade 1 Carlean keepsake for another, Snake Man. How say you to that? This insignia is possessed by all of the Carlean foot soldiers, but this small plush toy, this novelty plush, is a collector's edition item that will fetch a hefty price on ebuy.carlean.com. Take this and be wealthy, Snake Man. The Frost Skull leaves, dash through the door back into the basement, slaying ever onwards. The power of the wisp that Yggdrasil couldn't help him with. Keep the quintessence, Yggdrasil had said. You just didn't hear me. We're doing a flashback. Keep the wisp close to you. It will help you, said the Yggdrasil to the Frost Skull. Yes. Its power will rejuvenate you and offer you more abilities, usage, than what you already possess, much like the infinite bone that makes up your inner ribcage. By the way, surgery in Carlean is expensive. Moving further forward into the darker parts of the dungeon down within, a small halfling child trapped inside of a cage, slaying all of the corruption around and freeing her. The Frost Skull ignores her for now, out of fear that she'll be too frightened to see him, that he will only make her cry. Instead, he chooses to leave without saying anything, like a total cool badass, because that's exactly how kids feel about being ignored after being rescued. I'm sure she'll find her way out, thinks the Frost Skull. I've left the doorway to the pocket dimension shop back behind. All she must do is turn and run, and she will find safe refuge. Further forward, the Frost Skull moves into an opening where, gasp, the paladin has been revived by the powers of evil nunnery, along with a sorceress wielding fire magic, my arch nemesis of magic, even though I'm using the mage's necklace. She's really angry. Apparently, the sorceress's necklace is the one that I'm in possession of, and she wants it back. So she must kill me for it. The adventurers are ganging up, like the cowards that they are, in order to obtain the treasures I have stolen. They don't want me getting any further through. I am on the cusp of discovering what I wish to know, said the Frost Skull aloud as he continues to slay all of these awful Carlean people. The priestess lady using foul healing from false deities from above, doing her best to keep her comrades from succumbing to that of the frost. Foolishness in vain, the Frost Skull thinks aloud as he slays the witch girls. The sorceress is dead, the paladin is dead, and the nun is dead. They're all dead. Ha ha, he says, doing a metaphorical teabag as he summons ice on their bodies. Moving forward, there's not really anything good on offer. Evil, dark, and twisted power beyond all comprehension lay bare before the Frost Skull. No, this is trash, thinks the Frost Skull aloud as he destroys it. It's better left in pieces than whole. This is something that the castle cannot accept again. It was a good thing that they took it. We don't want it back. The Frost Skull continues, moving further forward. Awful traps lay bare for him, hoping to prevent him from getting further through. Slay, he does. Yas, as he continues to kill all of his former friends, now corrupted by the quartz. Alchemists throwing wicked sorcery. Larger alchemists with more sorcery. Trapdoors and hidden passageways. Poor minions, small dog-like creatures forced to be dogs. The irony is not lost. Moving into a wave room that would make for a pretty sick montage, the Frost Skull progresses further forward. For some reason, catchy music is playing as he slays. This is somewhat perverse, thinks the Frost Skull, as he jams out to the slaying of the Kalayan forces, including more quartz beasts that are attempting their best to thwart his advancement. You cannot stop me, thinks the Frost Skull. I will slay you all. I will get my answers. I will seek salvation and revenge for all of the awful that you've done to the creatures of the Kalayan forest and the demons from the keep, of which we had a friendly pact for some reason, but you guys chose to betray it like total dicks. Anyway, he finished slaying people in the room and moved out. Wow, that was cool. He discovers a crossover skull, a creature from another world, another timeline, another parallel universe. God, why now? 5 runs in a row. An ethereal, demonic, yet pleasantly angelic voice from above says aloud as he progresses forward. This is power unknown that we cannot possibly use to help us in our advancement of this run. We must destroy it. Isildur! Destroy it, he thinks to himself, referencing a pop culture story from another alternate time. He leaves, moves into the pocket dimension store where things that he can't use are laid bare once again by the shopkeep. You really get off on this, says the Frost Skull, as he has to pay money to find something worthwhile. Twice he re-rolls through the options. Nothing of value is found. I will claim you if you screw me over, the Frost Skull thinks to himself as he leaves empty-handed and moving into the only option that he has, an item room. Hopefully, the treasures that lay within, protected by many flasks and potions, bearing spirits, souls of the damned themselves, trapped forever inside of perverse, encapsulating bottles and vials. I will free these poor souls, lay them to rest so that they may get peace in the afterlife. Slay them all, I do. An ancient one, an old skull, trapped for who knows how long. My word, how long have you been down here? Conversing with the creature is hardly a wise idea, but for a small sacrifice, the old one is unable to leave on his own accord. A small token, a small smackerel of your vitality, of your life essence, is all the old one requires in exchange for more bone power. I accept. Wow, thanks the Frost Skull, receiving the Rockstar Skull. No! Aloud exclaims the Frost Skull. I had tickets for their returning tour this season. Kalayan will pay. Why would they destroy his favorite band, the Bone Metal Band, the Metal Bone Band? No! He exclaims aloud. I will get revenge, destroying the Rockstar Skull. Where's that voice coming from? He progresses forward. Ancient treasures lay at the end. The Nether Mana Suppressor lay before him. Ancient. Even more ancient than ancient. Things can't possibly get more ancient than this. Extremely ancient nether powers from times long ago. He takes it and replaces one of the abyssal virus vials as it no longer serves too much of a purpose for the Frost Skull. Don't worry, this is the one that the slime transformed himself into, forgetting for a moment that the slime is actually the abyssal virus. The Frost Skull destroys it, turning it alchemically into 422 gold pieces. Now the slime, apparently not choosing to change back into a slime before being destroyed, has now been converted into currency and will be spread far and wide throughout the world of Carleon. Because he is now currency. That's kind of messed up.
Wow.
Onwards, the Frost Skull moves, slaying more and more of the Carleon forces, making his way through their perverse traps. You know, curious is the trap maker's art. Spikes, conveyor belts, and really messed up stuff all lay before the Frost Skull. Trees, corrupted foot soldiers, their own people. The sorry fools, they've gone too far this time. They're corrupting their own. Slaying all of them, the Frost Skull, becoming winded from this exhausting journey, makes his way further upwards. Was that a wow? What was that? Further forward, up through traps of arcane and spike. Retrieving a mummified skull, he shatters it into pieces. Byah! Smashed! He makes his way into another large and imposing doorway.
Hello.
Hello, cool fats, says this angelic voice from above. Moving forward into an empty doorway. There's nothing here. But wait, gasp! A trap door from beneath. Ah! He falls all the way down a very, very, very deep trap hole and lands in nowhere. There's nothing here. I'm trapped forever. I can't get out. No! But he has discovered a secret passage. The Frost Skull, choosing to move ever forward, discovering a secret tunnelway leading to potentially the answers he seeks, is met with a large and imposing doorway. Burst through.
Wow.
The gates were not open. They were burst through by the Longavator. Yes, another Longavator. Something has been here. Something big. Something has torn its way through to the other side. I must investigate. Progressing forward, the Frost Skull is met by gasp! A large, distorted being. The distorted goddess Chimera. This poor creature, once whole, now contorted in a perverse experiment of truly heinous quartz nonsense. Spitting grand vile poisons, mixtures of quartz and vile. The large, alchemical creature, destroyed mentally, barely a fragment of itself remains as in its blind fury, its post-mortem rage, lashing out at anything that comes near, dropping canisters of other poor creatures that have come and died before it. The Chimera does battle, spraying poison from its large snake-like tail lash whip thingy. 2 heads of lion origins, claws, and a shoulder with a mouth on it. That's pretty badass when you really see it and think about it. The Frost Skull continues to dance his dance of battle, chilling the creature, hoping that it will cool off and decide not to fight, sparing it the torment that it has to endure. The Chimera, finally succumbing to its injuries, collapses under the weight of its burden, falling down into a large chasm. A very messed up looking chest, which the Frost Skull assumes is a mimic, pokes at it and it bursts forth, releasing a healing orb to replenish its life, and an evil eye, which would be kinda cool, but he chooses not to take it. The evil eye was a friend of mine. It belonged to the beholder. No! A loud gasp the Frost Skull, realizing that the beholder creature, a good friend of his brother's cousin, has been slain and his eye plucked from his body, turned into a trinket for use. You'll pay for this, Carleon, he exclaims as he lunges down into the large chasm. Because he's made of bone and ice, he does not fear a drop, for he can sustain any impact that might meet him below. Squelch, squish, plop, and thud, he lands on the destroyed corpse of the Chimera, laid in a pool of soaked dark quartz. Don't touch it. It will infect you, says Arachne from a distance. Do you have any bone fragments? I am 4 short. Do you have change, maybe? Can I owe you 4? No. Arachne is a bit of a dick at times and refuses to help me, even though I'm doing a favor because she's a demon. But I guess greed knows no bounds when you're an 8-legged spider lady who really wants bones. Another elevator the Frost Skull progresses into. Why do these people like elevators so much? Carrying him forward out of the basement, the Frost Skull hears the elevator come to a stop. The doors wide open. The exterior fortress. The Frost Skull moves forward. This poor creature has been impaled, piked, laying stuck in the ground. A spike has taken root. Don't worry, he says. Go on without me. This is... do you know that you're mistaken? Exactly. He's actually practicing his escape routine. He's perfectly fine where he is. I'm moving forward, say the Frost Skull. And he's like, no, that's cool, dude. You go ahead. I'll catch up, says the impaled skull as he waits behind. Probably doomed to die a slow and very painful death because he can't get free, but chooses to remain proud and not ask for help the way that he should. The Frost Skull, met with acolytes and ritualists of dark Kalean crap. He slays them all. People wielding flame and ow! An explosive kamikaze enemy has lunged itself at the Frost Skull, latching on and detonating its own existence. Their perverse disregard for life knows absolutely no bounds. Their own, not only corrupted, but destroyed. They're willing to throw their own lives down for their perverse goddess. What awful evils will I find further forward? These acolytes, not caring for their own safety, throw themselves headfirst into the Frost Skull's path. These poor creatures know not what they do, but they will follow blindly. As the Frost Skull continues to... Man, this is going slower than I expected. Come on, kill them, thinks the Frost Skull. This trash is in my way. I have answers. I still haven't found anyone in charge. Not since the bald Eggman from the second act who ran away like a total coward. Little did the Frost Skull know that that bald man would also fall victim to the experiments of the Kalean Empire. He will not find his answers with the Baldy. He will need to find someone else of authority. Excuse me, do you know where I could speak to someone with some answers? He asks as he makes his way through the waves of torrential enemies. No answer is received because he's not speaking their language. They speak a different dialect. And so this has all been a great big misunderstanding. But still, they choose to attack him, and he retaliates in self-defense. Corrupted the Frost Skull is. Their attacks are branding me, imprinting me with foul, holy, evil nonsense that I must cleanse from my very bones, lest I be further harmed by its deified doggery. Apparently sipping from this fountain that's conveniently laying about will get rid of the corruption that... Why would they leave this here, he thinks to himself. Forget it, as he leaves, purged from the holy corruption, into another pocket dimension. Another pocket shop dimension, where the shopkeep once again is ripping him off because he is not offering anything of value. Why? The Frost Skull exclaims, as he enters and realizes there's nothing good on offer. 1, 2 rerolls it takes before he finds the broken mana engine, something that at least has some worth as it will increase his cooldown speed, and it's pretty cool. Replacing the Kalean insignia, something that he purchased from the very same shopkeep not 10-15 minutes ago. He replaces it and sells it for money that he will probably come back and pay this guy to get more stuff. This is a very perverse cycle of buying and selling, old man. Are you old? Are you even a man? I don't even know what your snake thing. He progresses into another skull room. I desperately need to find another skull so I can upgrade to legendary. The words come to him as though from an outside force. Find the skulls. Upgrade to legendary. You must do it. Save us all. Save us all. Save us all. He hears the voice speak to himself. He continues to move forward. Summoners bringing forth kamikaze bombers from thin air! My goodness, how are you doing this? These ladies are quite the magicians. Their magic is truly wicked and ridiculous in how he thinks to himself. Even the demons don't possess magic of this caliber. In what world are they able to summon like this? Nice, aloud says the Frost Skull, realizing his Nether Mana suppressor is at a perfect number that should not be disturbed for the rest of the run. Probably the third or fourth mummy skull he's discovered. My god, the ancient Egyptians would be rolling in their tombs if they hadn't been dug up by these Carlean bastards and desecrated. Avisha has fired shots and has gifted a sub to Oslis Blob for 3 months. Thank you, Avisha, says the heavenly and charming demonic voice from above. Further forward into the chambers of the exterior wall, which has chambers. Shut up! I'm telling a story here. Progresses the Frost Skull as he makes his way through, slaying all of these really bad dudes who are actually meant to be good dudes, but we're the good guys in this story. The history is told from the winner's side. The good guys always win. That's because the guys who win are the good guys in their own mind. So you wouldn't know if we're actually the bad guys. I don't know where this is going, thinks the Frost Skull. Why are you saying this? He moves further forward. Look at this guy. I like your cape, the Frost Skull thinks. Can I have it when you die? What? Thinks the magician man, summoning his orbs of tracking, home-seeking nonsense. Little did the magician know that the Frost Skull is a being of pure ice. Not a single fraction of heat emanates from his body, which is why he uses the Mage's Necklace as a fake-out, a source of heat to distract the balls that would seek him therein. Yes. Destroying the Magician Man, the Frost Skull, unimpressed with the cheap synthetic material that man was wearing, chooses not to take it, but instead mocks him for his bad fashion sense, slaying all of them, leaving the room. Winston Main has subscribed at Tier 1. Thank you, Winston Main. Go monkeys, says the ethereal, heavenly, charming voice. Oh look, iron shoes of bitter cold. Wait a minute, this might be a little bit better than something I've got. The iron shoes, frigid, just like the skull himself. I will wear these instead, you know what? I will wear these instead of the inner flame that I have not used once for quite some time and probably won't for a bit. I will get rid of them. Goodbye, Dato, says the heavenly ethereal voice, seeing that Dato is leaving. Have a good one. Moving further forward into the next area. Wait, Avisha has shot Caged Alpha for a single month. Thank you, Avisha, for being a badass. Coughing, the ethereal voice from above says, I must get sip, he thinks. Choking on his sip because of the stupid slurp that he did. The ethereal voice's throat is rehydrated and rejuvenated. Cleansing the corruption from his bones. The skull makes his way. A gap in the road. I must hop above it. I will get my answers. Progressing forward once again. The heavenly deity has taken shape and form inside of this cleric. The divine goddess Leonia of the heavens watch over me, she says. The Frost Skull does not give one damn. I've slain you once before and I will do so again. The cleric meets him in the middle. A 1v1 battle. Truly, for the first time, has an actual Carlean resident fought him 1v1. Because the Chimera doesn't count, so when you really think about it, this is the first time since Act 1 that you people have actually fought me legit. Wow. You people really suck, thinks the Frost Skull aloud to himself. Many frost spells are spammed thanks to the power of the... Wow, she's healing for a lot. Thanks to the power of the infinite bone. Blows are traded. Her holy magic's trying to destroy his frigid facade. However, it's not a facade. I am actually that of ice. Using lots of really cool ice tricks to stop her from healing and doing anything. And the power of mage fireballs, the Frost Skull, decimates her, leaving her corpse lifeless and limp on the ground. The Frost Skull waits for that awful-looking yellow sphere hovering ominously above her to disappear and please go away. It's not, is it dangerous? It's not dangerous, the Frost Skull realizes, touching its glow. Ah ha 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 ha! False magics. Stupid nonsense. This is why you failed. I believe in a greater power. The power of chill, as he leaves her frozen corpse decimated, laying on the ground. Ah! Finally, something good to use, the Frost Skull exclaims. The Archdemon itself, a grand and very powerful creature, an ancient being of truly ridiculous magical prowess, lay trapped and encapsulated inside of a small sphere. The Wisp has led Frost Skull to this location, led it to the Archdemon itself, so that the demon of great power may assist the Frost Skull in seeking and getting its answers. Arachne lay on the doorstep on the other side. Found the Archdemon, have you? She exclaims. I trust you have also obtained the bones of your fallen comrades. Yes, exclaims the Frost Skull. Finally! Will you please take them and give me the power I seek? Arachne exclaims, this power is no mere small feat. You will be greater than you've ever been. She takes the bones, using spider thread and cool purple magic, because purple's a cool color. She imbues great power and wisdom into the Frost Skull, transforming him, shattered from his previous bonds. He is unleashed, now wielding dual bone frost blades that are really cool. My god, they're cool. The new frozen soul continues onward, unshackled, unbound. Uncaring, he advances. Avisha has shot Fire Wizard for 5 months. That's super hype and cool, Avisha. Thank you. You are insane today, exclaims the heavenly demonic voice from above. Yay! The Kalayan forces on the other side advance, unaware that there is a trap above, their own trap, that they have fallen victim to. The frozen soul, advancing ever onwards, unleashing the power of the Archdemon trapped inside. The Archdemon, with its prophetic power, slays all that stand in its wake. The small halfling girl, apparently, for some reason, being captured by more Kalayan people. Damn it, lady, how did you not manage to escape? I left the door open. The frozen soul, now released from its previously rather unfit and hideous form, speaks to the small child. Go, small child. On the other side of that door behind me, a demonic spider lady is waiting. Take my 7 fragments I have left over. Change. Hopefully she'll get you home. The halfling girl is grateful for being rescued not once but twice, and offers a fruit of love to the Frost Skull. His heart cold and frozen, non-beating and no longer existing, because he is but a soul and without organs or sinew or blood. He takes the fruit, somehow consuming it, restoring 15% of his vitality. He does not reciprocate the small halfling girl's feelings of affection and emotion, for he is on a mission of revenge, and revenge is best served cold. Taking more of their money, he advances onwards, slaying evermore the Kalayan blight that lay at the top of this keep. The Archdemon's vicious assault on the Kalayan forces, furious at its own entrapment, destroying them all. Moving into a small chamber, the statues themselves, other things of without life, much like the frosty dude himself, have come alive, sprung into reality. Are they actually statues, or are they just pretending to be statues? We may never know, the Frost Skull thinks, as he's slain them really quickly anyway and progresses into another pocket dimension, where he is met with, finally, for the first time in a long time, something kinda good. The Frost Witch's Staff, another item of frigid value. I will trade this Kalayan bow along with a lot of money in order to purchase the staff. Thank you. You heeded my warning and provided me with the staff of my ancient kin. The Frost Witch's Staff. My mother's staff, the Witch of Frigid Burden. I miss her dearly. Her powers will aid me greatly. As the skull re-rolls twice, and yes! Yes! With great confidence, he exclaims, I have done it. I will I will sell off the virus. The virus has led me here. I need not this evidence anymore. Thieves' black steel daggers have been discovered inside of the ethereal store. I will take them, merge them with my frigid bone to create more powerful dual-wielded blades that will offer me better critical strike chance. Badass, he exclaims as he runs out of the room, happy as a camper, moving through to destroy the evil Carleon Blight, which once again, it's kind of up or down whether or not they're the bad guys in this story, but they actually are, because I'm telling the story. The Frost Skull unleashes the awesome might of the Archdemon, slaughtering all of these awful dudes. Item is found at the end. It is a bone of courage. Courage is best for those who need it, and I need not anymore. My courage stat was maxed out at birth, says the Frost Skull. Truly a badass 90s one-liner that no one will forget anytime soon. Slaying statues, the statues themselves are trying to assault the Frost Skull, preventing him from making his way through the keep up onto this very tall castle wall, which I'm not sure why we're on top of the place, but we are on top of the place. We've gone from the basement to the high peaks. All sense of time and space are being warped, not just by the Frost Skull himself, because he's kind of slowing things down, but wow, that was a lot of fireballs, but also because this is starting to make less sense as I move further forward. The timeline is convoluted. We're not sure when or what is happening. A ruby heart is discovered. No! Ruby, my girlfriend! You'll pay for this, Carleon, says the Frost Skull as he makes his way further forward. The gates open. Corruption is cleansed. A large and imposing doorway stands before the Frost Skull. Further forward, he makes his way into the Fortress of Fate, into the glorious courtyard. Onwards and upwards he advances. Now it is time to get my answers. He ascends to the upper floor. A large, very fancily draped figure. It is the Archbishop St. Joan II, and she's really pissed off that Frost Skull has been killing her believers, her followers, those who follow the words of Leonia, their false deity. No deity would want this, and if so, then I laugh in the face of their desires. I will tear down these monuments to her likeness. I will destroy your religion from the inside out. These believers will become receivers. Receivers of pain. Receivers of the frost. Kamikaze exploders. Twisted. Light magic. Holy nonsense. Joan hides like a complete coward inside a bubble of protection. The Frost Skull destroying the second of the pillars, removing the barrier that protects her. Enraged and very grumpy, Joan hovers, flies, lifts from her seat into the sky itself. My god, she can fly. Why would she not do that from the start? Joan takes into the battle herself, summoning balls to attack. Many balls, flying balls, spherical ones that are rotating in a circle and assaulting her. It becomes painfully clear that Joan, and indeed, perhaps all of Carleon, has been corrupted by the quartz. She takes on a ghoulish figure as she is using more of the twisted, corrupt magic. The very spheres that she summons, tinted with the purple of the quartz. Evidence to her own downfall. She fights and struggles in vain to stop the Frost Skull, but ironic, maybe if she had not fallen to such obvious stupidity, if she had stayed true in her beliefs, perhaps she would have been saved by her one true goddess. But no.
You will know the tragic extent of my failings.
Failings. Absolute failings. Instead, she dies. Another victim to the quartz. Further forward, the Frost Skull ascends. Goodbye, Seven Eyes. Have a good one and be badass. Thank you for hanging, the demonic, angelic voice exclaims to Seven Cubes the Great. Wait, forever? Wait, is that forever or is that, wait, what? A name has followed that the heavenly voice can't see or read right now, but thanks for the follow anyway, he exclaims as he moves forward past Arachne, simply sitting there for no other purpose than to give encouragement. You are almost there, small skull. Through this doorway lies the answers you seek.
Pew, pew.
Hang on. The heavenly voice has sipped from the nectars of the gods and has restored his vocal capabilities. Now, further onwards, the Frost Skull goes. Monuments come to life, the very statues themselves. It seems that all of Carleon is dead set on preventing passage. You must not advance. The Frost Skull thinks to himself, no, not even your architecture can stop me. I will push forward. I will make my way. Little did the Frost Skull know that the statues were not, in fact, trying to prevent his passage in order to save whatever lies on the other end. The statues are a failsafe to prevent his awesome might from being unleashed on everyone else. Into the final pocket dimension store, the Frost Skull makes his way. Overpriced goods. What is this? This is a joke, says the Frost Skull, exclaiming loudly. To the chef I will go for the Onigiri Pyramid, giving me cooldown speed increasing for 3 maps, which means that this buff will last for the hero fight. Consuming the rice balls, which makes no sense because he is but a frozen spirit skeleton creature thing that doesn't have a stomach. He progresses further forward, out of the pocket dimension, ascending further upwards, further and further upwards. The forces of Carleon themselves, none to be found. Have I finally done it? Have I eradicated humanity itself? Only statues lay in my way. What answers will I seek? What answers will be found? The Frost Skull exclaiming loudly. I must destroy all of this. I will tear it all down and preserve demon kind. For Ruby, my dead girlfriend. For the Frost Witch, my mother, and for the Demon King, who we're going to pretend isn't back in the keep right now, but is instead still kidnapped. What bad people these guys were. Still are. Progressing through all the way to the end, the Frost Skull has destroyed every last statue that stands in his way. It is at this point that the Frost Skull thanks you for viewing this nonsense and hopes that you have enjoyed this nonsense. And and now the Frost Skull is met with one final large imposing doorway. Through to the other side, the figure he seeks stands waiting the challenge that awaits. He's challenging the sword of Carleon, the first hero himself, and Skull's father. Dun dun dun! For you see, it was not the hero himself that was the downfall of the Frost Skull, but still the Skull, determined to put an end to the senseless violence by using as much violence as possible, has come to put an end to his father's ways. No more. The humans were wrong. Carleon has fallen. You're a bit of a dick, father. I'm going to stop you, the Frost Skull thinks. But there's no point. Once again, a callback to earlier on. They no longer speak the same the same language. The Frost Skull fights in vain, trying his best to see reason, to convince his father to stop, but no. The first hero is consumed with delusional rage, wielding great, awesome, heroic power, the very power that the Frost Skull had once sought to have as his own, to be the symbol of peace and justice, the same that his father is. His father fights valiantly in an attempt to stop what he perceives to be this awful creature from ending all of human existence. Little does the hero know that he's already done that. The hero, beaten in his first phase, but not defeated completely, ascends to his final form, taking on a heroic and very powerful looking yellow Saiyan-like glow, summoning forth ethereal weapons from pocket dimensions unknown. This is really badass, thinks the Frost Skull, as he's kinda sad that he never gets to wield this power for himself. Maybe in a future update we could get this, huh? It'd be really cool. The Frost Skull continues to lay onslaught after onslaught against the seemingly unbreakable hero. large blades, light magic, and really cool tactics of burden the hero uses. Finally, a break in his onslaught. The hero is exhausted, wounded, and weakened from the onslaught. Narrowly, the hero manages to clip the Froskull with that very cool large sword swing. Both combatants battered and wounded, injured and afraid. This is a true test of wits, a battle for life itself. The hero falls to an impalement from a large ice shard, bleeding from his mouth, his power withdrawing. The glow fades. Enraged by his failings, he slams the ground, destroying the rubble crashing to beneath. A tomb lay therein, a shrine, a monument to his fallen son. The irony not lost on us, viewers. As the battle continues, the hero, weakened, battles desperately in a vain attempt to put an end to this awful thing that has stepped forward to oppose him. With his final gasp, he swings. An uppercut full of magic, a haymaker miss, another swing missed. More blood, he coughs. I don't have long left. For my son, I must do this, says the hero. A bop that does nothing. What are you doing? Please. Eats a... Ah, damn it. The Froskull stopping with one final desperate plea to convince the hero to stop before the inevitable. But it's too late. His injury, he has succumbed to his injuries. He bleeds out, choking his last breath, the frigid air left behind by the skull itself. This poor man has died, but not completely dead. He's dead. No, I'm retconning it already. He's dead. We're not going with the canon ending. He dies on his hands and knees, a fallen hero, a victim of circumstance. The Froskull realizes that the answer he sought was not the one that he had hoped for. All of humanity has been erased, and the Froskull blows open a hole at the side of the castle. Escaping, he falls on his return to the demonic keep. I have achieved my mission. I have slain them all. All of Carleon have fallen before the awesome might of the frozen skull. A time skip and a segue. Wait.
So this time I shall have my revenge, taking over the ending. Thank you all lovely viewers for watching this chaotic run. I hope you enjoyed it just as much as I enjoyed playing the challenge live. I strongly recommend trying this challenge out for yourself and see what stories you come up with. Now with all of that said and done, thank you so much for watching. Check out Beelz's Twitch and Discord for more shenanigans like these, and until next time, have a good one.